Y'all get on in here. Let me know if y'all can hear me. For some reason, I got this notification that it kicked me off because of like audio or something like that. But I'm here. All right. As y'all come in, let me know where you're chiming in from. All right. We're not gonna let the audio get in the way of the biz, but we got some important stuff to talk about today. All right. So as you come in, let me know where you're chiming in from. And also let me know if y'all can hear me. I have no way of telling if y'all can hear me. Can you is the sound kind of weird? This is interesting. Nawan, how you feeling? Cortez, what's going on? Can you hear me? Are y'all able to hear me? Okay, awesome. There we go. She said, okay, y'all can hear me. Cool, cool, cool. Yes, hey, Brittany, I appreciate it. Yes, I got some great rest. I got some great rest. Yesterday was a very long day, but I definitely got some great rest. So I appreciate that. Appreciate you asking. Y'all come on in here. Come on in. Hit that like button. That's gonna help us continue this motion, right? We got a lot to talk about today, y'all. We got a lot to talk about. I've sat back and I looked at some things in the market today. As you probably have already seen, when I woke up this morning, today was my off day in the group. But when I woke up this morning and I looked at my I looked at the charts, I'm like, hold up, what's going on here? All right, so we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about what's happening across the market and also what those implications are for the future. But I definitely want to like go into great detail about that so we can kind of start managing our expectations for future things and also kind of like altering like how we do things. But there's something that I'm observing being second week into this like new structure of the market. All right, who we got in here? Liz, how you feeling, Liz? QTZ. Nawan, what's going on? Houston in the building. All right, Jay, how you feeling? Miss Virgo, good to see y'all. Karen, how you doing, Karen? From Dallas. Okay, there we go. Pamela, how you doing over there? Genesis, what up, man? I'm feeling great, Mark Quinn. Appreciate it, man. All right, we got Beta A Clay in the building. Cool. Cool. All right, again, y'all, as y'all come in, hit that like button. Takes 1 second. All right. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the market just across the board just dropping. Right. Like I said, when I opened up my phone this morning, the very first thing I saw, the first stock that I looked at was actually Iran. Like I wasn't in an Iran play, but that was the most recent thing on my on my stock list. So when I opened my phone, I saw that Iran was down like 13%. I'm like, so I go look at Nvidia, I go look at Carvana, I go look at all these different plays, and I'm like, okay, it's not the individual plays. The market itself is just across the board. Like it dramatically dropped last night. So I want you guys to understand that there's something that I've noticed, and there's something that I want you guys to also understand. There's times where a play may not work out. You all know this. I'm preaching to the choir. But then there's also times where the market, like, it's almost like if you're familiar with roulette and gambling, right? Like it's like the roulette table. They have these like zeros and double zeros that pretty much allow them to like sweep the table clean. Because most people are playing, their numbers, or they're playing the color, like black or red, or they're playing like inside the colors, right? I mean, inside the numbers, one to 36, I believe it is, right? So when they notice that there's an opportunity to sweep, sometimes you will see it land on like zero or double zero, and I feel like that's exactly what happened in the market today. A lot of people were feeling bullish about the market. The market setups were bullish. That's the reason we were in bullish trades, and it just dumped. And it wasn't just the plays we were in. It was literally anything you were in that was bullish was pretty much swept out. We did see like Enphase. If you guys are still in the Enphase leaps that I called, Enphase took off like crazy after earnings. Enphase is up 36%. So Enphase is continuing to accumulate for everybody that's in that. But for everything else that I looked at, it was pretty much completely down. So when you see this could mean a few things. This could mean that there's really a test to the downside that's taking place, right? It's really starting to test, if it wants to come down further and possibly slip into a version of a correction territory, or it's literally just like a way to sweep profits off the table, like the example that I just gave you. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure just yet, but what I'm also noticing, and I have to see this for a little bit longer, is with the Mag Sevens having having like these new expiration dates, right? Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, like indices. This could also introduce a level of manipulation, right? This being the second week, what I believe happened was a lot of people accidentally got those Wednesday calls, right? Those Wednesday contracts, and seeing that, I believe market makers dropped the market. That simple. Dropped the market, and made profit that way. All right. So in terms of Nvidia, I'm still holding on to Nvidia because I did not get Wednesday's expirations. I got Friday's expirations, and the way that it's kind of like bouncing where it is right now and where it's positioned at on the Bollinger Band, I'm willing to hold to see if it gets a nice recovery. All right, but I do want you guys to just kind of start being aware of the fact that the way that the market is changing expiration dates is going to start to impact over time, like buyer behavior. All right, so I just want to make sure that we start to like just kind of keep that in mind when we're entering trades, when we're taking plays, so that something like this doesn't take place. All right, but again, if the setup is there, just like every setup that I took, I would take over and over and over again. Every time I see it, I would take it again. So there's no error made, there's no mistake made, but there was definitely a market wipeout right there. All right, so I'm not, if anybody was in, the Wednesday ones by mistake, then I'm pretty sure it's not looking the greatest. But if you're in Friday, you should still be good for recovery. We should get a nice bounce tomorrow, on the recovery. So again, Nvidia, I'm staying in. I haven't gone back to look at Carvana, but we could pull it up on the charts to see. Again, if y'all are just joining, hit that like button for me. All right, Doop. All right. You still holding them? So you should be up really nice in phase, Pamela. He says, "What have you been up to, Mr. Benson? How many have asked about your sleep?" Oh, see, Jade over there worried about me. I appreciate you, Jade. Nah, they're asking because on the live yesterday, I was talking about how I needed to get some rest. Like I was like, running around like pretty much all day. I also had so a part of what I did yesterday, I didn't want to share this, but in addition to meetings, I also had like some intense like Reiki sessions done, right? So typically, like when I go through Reiki sessions, it's moving a lot of energy. It's moving a lot of energy through your body and out of your body, and it exhausts you like in an intense way. So that's the big part of what I was up to yesterday. I don't always share like every detail of like what I'm doing, but that's where the drain came from. There was a lot of stuff moving yesterday, so I needed to just kind of take it easy and and get some rest. But I did get some rest, which is good. All right, so we got Pam holding it. Karen, good to see you. How you feeling? Joy, how you doing over there? All right. You said, have we went Nvidia yet? No, we haven't. We haven't gone over anything. So I've been kind of just like prefacing this call, just talking about the market. You know what I mean? Like just seeing. Obviously, we saw everything was down today. So just reminding people, like, hey, when things like this happen, we can't. This is not something that we can anticipate or call. And don't let days like this make you feel conflicted or confused or take your confidence away, right? It's like if we see the setups that we see, we're going to continue to take those setups when we see them. And there will be occasional times when the market does something that is the complete opposite of what it's supposed to. And there's nothing we can do about that. You know what I mean? So just you just stay in the game, right? Again, I'm currently still in Nvidia. I think where it's at now, I don't think the drawdown is like ridiculous. I think we might be down like maybe like 50%. But if we get a huge bounce tomorrow, especially with it being Thursday, we could be right back in the green. All right, so I'm holding on to Nvidia. I'm not like concerned about that. But I do hate the fact that they hated on us today. You understand what I'm saying? I do hate the fact that they hated on us today. All right. All right. Mikey Mike, how you feeling? Hey, I appreciate you, Pamela. All right, let's get into these charts, y'all. Let's get into these charts. All right. We'll start with Nvidia, and then I'll just show you guys like what I'm seeing. Let's get into it. Y'all hit that like button for me. Doop. All right, so I got Nvidia pulled up right here. And as you all can see, Nvidia is starting to bounce pretty hard off of this, off of this Bollinger Band. So I like the potential for this to push up pretty hard. We're right here testing this area right here. So it's bouncing off of an area that has bounced off a few times, right? So we could see a move like this, from this move here. Again, I'm in until Friday, so I'm willing to hold it until Friday. If we go into profit tomorrow, I'll take profits. Right? That's simple. I'm expecting tomorrow to be a bounce day. Like I said, if we go into profits, I'll take profits. Probably on the earlier side, just to secure that trade. All right, but we just gotta wait Nvidia out. So Coinbase, I know was something that we were looking at. Crypto is just struggling right now. Crypto is just straight struggling. And it looks like it wants to make its way down to this next support level. I'm gonna go look at Ethereum and Bitcoin too, but it's gonna be probably right here on par with Coinbase. But the next level on Coinbase for a major bounce, and y'all can write this down, would be 142.50. All right, 142.50 for the next major bounce. And let me scroll down a little bit actually, because I'm not seeing any bullish order blocks, which is a little alarming. But maybe the bullish order block will form, at this bounce area. But the next one that Lux Algo was giving us is way down at 60, which is crazy. So if this 142.50 gets broken, we could be going into like put season, y'all. And this is going to be an important week to see, right? So look, a lot of tech has been down. Apple's up pretty significantly, but look at AMD. So chip stocks basically, like microchips. AMD is down 16% today, right? Google is down, Amazon is down, Tesla is down big. I think Tesla also broke through that head and shoulders. Yep. Tesla broke that head and shoulders. Tesla may be trying to make its way down to the 370 something area. Okay. So let me go back to coin real quick. So where we are in the market, this is also something I want y'all to understand. We've been catching swings for the past couple of weeks, right?
just banger after banger. I want y'all to also understand that the market is not going to always present opportunities like that, right? So there will be moments like yesterday that take place that could be introducing a new rotation or a new season, and we have to be patient and flow with that. So as I'm looking through these charts, there's no clear direction. There's not going to be clear direction on a lot of stuff, right? When something does its first, like, you know, when you get your first, it's not considered a crash because a crash would be more like a 25% single day drop. So we're not seeing that, but it's definitely a, you know, like a drop, right? 6% on Coinbase. I think we saw like 6% on Carvana, 3% or something like that on Nvidia. I think it's around 2 something now. But when you see those, you have to kind of just stay put for a second and not try to force like that next move. You got to see if the market wants to start coming down. All right, in this particular sector. All right, there are stocks that are, you know, that are up, but you know, it's in different spaces. Retail, right? You know, healthcare. But most of the tech stocks that we monitor, like look at Palantir. Palantir is down to 138. Hold on, time out. We got to go look at this. Okay, so this right here is, if Palantir closes right here, y'all, hold on, y'all. Palantir could be wanting to come see 128. Give me 1 second. I want to measure this real quick. The beautiful thing about options is it doesn't really matter what direction the market's going in. That's the beauty of it. But when it is changing directions, you want to respect the market, right? So when I see a move like this today, I'm not automatically like, oh yeah, the market's going to bounce here and go up tomorrow. I'm like, nah, let me see what it's really trying to do. So these next couple of days could be like just pure monitoring, right? Pure monitoring and not trying to necessarily catch a move, but observing what's taking place. All right, so Palantir is down 33.75% right now. The next order block is down at 108. So we're gonna watch Palantir. We're gonna keep our eye on it. I'm not. Yes, it has a super bearish engulfing. But I'm not gonna be the first to assume that this means that this is coming down. Right? I'm also not gonna be naive and think that it's, you know, it's gonna rebound tomorrow. So I'm just gonna monitor Palantir for a little bit to see if it wants to break down some more. Right? And then we'll, you know, once we get a rhythm for it, then we can decide, like, you know, what direction we want to play it in. But again, y'all, I like to take stuff at order blocks. This is breaking through an order block, so we could see a significant drop on this. But I do want to see what tomorrow looks like, to see if today was more like a little, you know, like a trick. What I do know from, you know, the past though is when you start to see big days like this. Because this is not the first big, you know, drop on Palantir, obviously, because it's down 33%. But when you start to see enough of these, like, we could be entering like, you know, a short-term bear market, right? Palantir, along with a lot of other tech stocks, still do have, you know, gaps at the bottom. Let me see if we can, if I can pull up like where some of the gaps are on Palantir, or if they've already been filled. Let's see. I know Nvidia has some. I know Microsoft has some. Microsoft might have gone and hold on. Did Microsoft go and fill that gap? That big one we were talking about? He said, "Oh, okay. I was watching your live yesterday and it took a nap." maybe about 40 minutes and had a Reiki session before. And yes, definitely got a lot of body recovery. Yeah, no, absolutely. There was a lot of release that took place in that session for sure. You said echo. Is this still echoing? Is this still echoing, y'all? Let me see if I can switch mics. How about that? Is that better? Let me know if that's better with the microphone. I just switched mics. Y'all tell me how that sounds. It's still echoing right now? How about now? Is that better? Is that better? It's good now? Okay, cool. All right, y'all. Again, as y'all come in here, y'all hit that like button, right? Hit that little doop for me. A little doop doop. If you in here and ain't hit like, I got beef with you. All right, much better. All right, perfect. All right. So again, y'all, like right now, what we're doing in the market, like I said, we're staying in NVIDIA, right? To wait for the bounce, because it is bouncing, right? But something like this right here on Palantir, it doesn't like it's bouncing much, and it's broken through a order block. So I'm gonna be patient with this. But again, when it comes down to this the next level or this next order block, I'm going to continue buying leaps. I'm going to continue buying leaps on Palantir. All right. You said I'm glad we're in here. I'm learning how to adapt. Yeah, because here's the thing, y'all. It's never going to be like the market is not going to be like the same all the time. So I want you to look at it like this, right? If you're running like fast in a direction, and then you like, I don't know if any of y'all play like ball or anything like that, or ever did like suicides on a basketball court or football field. It's like you running real fast, and then you gotta go down and hit the ground, and then you gotta turn around. There is a little bit of a awkward moment, or a little bit of a moment where you gotta like readjust, and like the market is no different. So things can be going well in terms of like, oh, I'm swinging calls, and these swings are working out. It's also not always like swing season. Right now, it is, right? It's been hitting, everything's been, like working out. But there's the occasional time in the market, and we can I don't care how long somebody's doing this, how smart they are, there's going to be a little moment in every change of direction where you get burned a little bit. And that's just part of the game, because nobody's we're not psychic, right? So maybe a little bit, but you can't always see everything that's coming. So right now, when I see a day that's like this, and literally just completely blows up, like setups that we had, that's when you have to sit back and say, okay, market, what are you doing right now, right? Don't take an L in this moment personal, but take it as like a moment to just say, okay, like let me stop real quick. Let me see what's happening in the market, and then we already know like what confirmations are and stuff like that. And here's another thing to pay attention to. If you see a bullish setup, right, and it gets blown up, and then you see another like bottom out, like if you see like 2 double bottoms, 3 double bottoms get blown up, right? That is an indication that the market is really changing directions, because it's not often that a strong bullish setup is going to fail like multiple times in a row. All right. So that's how we know, like, okay, like we just seen this one. It's like, all right, don't get caught up in the next one, but we're gonna just watch the market for a little bit, right? And if there's another one that blows up, it's like there is a very strong chance that we're going into correction territory. All right, let me go to SPY real quick, because I also want y'all to know the difference between like pullbacks, corrections, and bear markets and stuff like that, right? So we'll go to an index. An index is always going to have what I'm basing my percentages for a pullback, a market correction, and a crash and a bear market off of the indexes. The reason that you don't base it off of off of a single stock is because you would misguided. According to Palantir, if we were basing like where we were in the market off of this solo stock, this would be in bear market territory, right? So we go to the indexes because the indexes move at different paces, right? And it's a collection of stocks on the market. So it essentially is giving us more of an average, right? So again, I don't know, like for y'all that are like OGs in the Prosperity Collective, y'all were here when I drew these out right here, right? So this is something that's also very important because if we break through this area right here, these right here are the gaps on SPY, but they're also correction territory, right? I believe this first one is correction. By the time it gets down here, we're flirting with bear market territory. Obviously, if it takes this out right here, then we're in a full blown bear market, right? So we'll measure it out, and I'll show you guys what to just kind of keep on your radar. All right. Again, I'm not trying to spook y'all out of out of trading, out of taking long positions, but we've been spending quite a bit of time up here at highs. Some may say that we're overextended, right? SPY's making its way down a little bit. It's sitting at a 688. The high for SPY was what was it? 703, 702.50, 703, right? So it's come down a little bit. So let's measure where we are right now. And then I'm gonna break down exactly like how we know where we are and what type of market we're in. All right. So let me make this a little bigger first. Yeah, this is gonna be key to understand. All right. Okay, so right now, SPY is down 1.25% from highs. Okay, so nothing to worry about here. All right, I'm gonna break down like what a correction is, what a pullback is, and then what a bear market is and crash. Right. So a crash on an index would be like a 10% drop in a single day, right? 25%, back to back in a couple of days. That's a crash. You don't see 10% moves on indexes like SPY unless there's something that's major going on. Like we had one during COVID, right? I believe we also had one when inflation got to a certain level, right? So we've had a couple like in recent years. And we could be doing new one. We just never know what's going to happen in the world. But a 10% pullback is what you call a correction, right? So we're going to measure out 10%, and I'm going to show you where a correction is. And a correction doesn't mean that a bear market is getting ready to start. It just simply means that it's coming back to a price that the market agrees is fair given the macroeconomic state. All right. So from highs, a correction would be around this area right here. All right. So you could put 628 to 630, right? If you want to write those levels down, that would be market correction territory. All the way down to here, we could still be interested in calls. Okay. So SPY coming down here, we could still be interested in the bounce, waiting for it to recover and make its next wave up. All the way down to here, right? When we start to see SPY below that, right? And we start getting into this area, right? This is just a bigger correction, right? But then I remember I told you, let me see if I can pull this up. Remember I told you when we get further down, that's when we get into a bear market territory. So 10% to about 20 to 25% is all correction territory, right? The 10% is where the correction starts. But when we get down into like a 20% decline, I'm gonna show you where you guys should start being like, okay, it's put city for a little bit. Let's measure this completely out. It's going to be down in this area right here. So really the last gap that SPY has to fill, and this makes perfect sense. The last gap that SPY has to fill is the cusp of correction and bear market. All right? It's really important to understand that. That is down here at 530.50. All right, write that level down, 530.50. When we get down into this area, this is when it's starting to flirt with bear market territory. All right? When we are in bear market territory, this is what we're going to be watching for. And again, there'll be other videos where I go into this obviously as time goes on and we're monitoring where we are. But I'm just kind of trying to preface the whole, like the horizon basically, so that you guys can, be aware of what, what's to come, how ugly things can get, and how you can make sure you're on the right side of it. All right. So in that area is where bear market territory, begins. Like I said, it makes sense because it gapped up. Y'all know what I say about the gaps, right? It's like Jenga. Whenever something goes up and it forms like multiple gaps, yes, the probability of it getting filled lowers, but it also is an indication that when the stock does start to fall hard, it's not just falling like to come in a short distance. A lot of time it's going to want to clean up that entire thing, especially if it's been up for quite a bit of time. So if we measure from this last resistance that it broke, like it's gotten up about 14%, right? Which is a decent wave up, right? That's bigger than what a correction would be to the opposite direction, which is 10%. So it's moved up pretty significantly, right? And it could be ready to come down. And like I said, depending on, this is something that I've been kind of like keeping in the back of my mind. Is like we got this whole swap out with the Fed, right? This new administration could have a totally different vision for monetary policy and in the macroeconomic landscape at large, right? So we could see a lot of trust being lost in the market temporarily. This could be a part of what's happening right now. We just don't know. We just don't know until we get more information. So these levels are very important to understand. Like, go and look at these gaps on SPY, mark them with the box so you can see. You can extend it too. You can extend it further out. Like these right here probably need to be extended a little bit so that I can see it on a longer time frame. Hold on, no, not down like that, but over. So just extend your boxes out so that you can see the gap like clearly. All right. Turn your Lux Algo order blocks on so you can also see like bounce areas that it may break through. When you start seeing them order blocks getting broken through, you can bet your bottom dollar that this is where it's trying to come to. All right. So that's why I said, like, all right, now that I see that big move, we're gonna be a little bit more patient on, hey, getting this trade today it should be good tomorrow. We're gonna pump our brakes for a quick second just to see what happens. So, like I said, when it gets down here, what's going to take place is once that bear market is initiated, right? I'm going to show you something. Once that bear market is initiated, which is around this area here, around this gap here, it's going to test this level right here. This is the last swing low. So we talking about 480. If it gets to a point where it breaks below 480, then the next move is going to be a dump, and then it's going to come back and retest this area right here. When it retests that swing low, this is going to confirm the bear market. When it retests that and then it fails, that's when it's just like, all right, we're going down for a little while. All right, we're gonna be catching puts on the intraday. We're gonna be catching put swings and stuff like that, and we're not gonna ever know what the bottom is. Right, the bottom is gonna be something that you gotta just trust that it came down enough, and you have a longer term outlook. But you can never guess the exact bottom. All right, all we can know is that the indices are modeled to go up over time. So when we're in correction territory, bear market territory, and you get into leaps and something like that, you will make your money back. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Now, when I look historically, right, when I look at the inflation crash 2022, when I look at COVID 2020, right, when I look at the .com bust, right, when I look at the recession in 2008, they all had very strong reasons to fall, and the average of all bear markets has never exceeded 9 months, right? So 9 months is typically how long a bear market is going to work. It doesn't mean that it hasn't been bear markets longer than 9 months, but there have been some that are significantly shorter than 9 months, bringing the average to about 9 months. So if you go back and look at those charts, you'll notice that people that got leaps, right, like during the last, I think it was like the .com, Apple came down like 80%, y'all. And in less than 9 months, Apple was not back just to recovery, but beyond. So that was literally a place where people got rich. If you put $10,000 in a leap, out for a year or two, and it recovered that amount in that short period of time, that 88% and beyond, you 10x your money. All right, so there will be opportunities like that. So that's the part about a bear market that I get excited about, because it's like that's when we continue to get rich. You know what I mean? Like that's how we continue to expand our wealth. It's like when it gets down to that level. You don't want to, like I said, try to front run something, but when something is down, in bear market territory, there's no place in the bear market that is a bad entry. You see what I'm saying? So if you have it out long enough, when we get in bear market territory, we're going to be looking more for 1-2 year plays, not 2-3 months trying to catch a rebound, because you don't know when it's going to fully recover. But the market has never not recovered the bear market in that span of time. All right, so I want y'all to really understand that. So we're going to be cautious. Again, you should consistently be putting money away for the long term, not always putting money into a stock like when you make profit on a big play, but putting it off to the side so that when this inevitable bear market does come, you have a lump sum of money that you can place in these opportunities that only come around like 3 to 5 years. All right, and sometimes longer than that. There's been longer distances between bear markets, especially with who we have in office right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to attempt to manipulate it so that we didn't face it during this term, and then it possibly happened later. That's also on the table. All right. So I just wanted to put all of that on y'all radar. I know that was quite a bit of information, but I just want y'all to understand how I'm now approaching things after a crazy dip day. And again, the market could just bounce crazy tomorrow, and it could be like, oh man. But when you start to see enough of these drops, it could possibly mean that there's something else on the way. All right. You said volume is super low. You can't hear me? Testing. You said it's P and L's, not as P. Exactly. exactly. The fake out game is crazy. Tariffs, yep. Better no echo now. Okay, cool. I'm just getting a break from work. Did you go over IWM? Nah, we didn't talk about IWM subsistence. We just have been talking about the potential of a bear market, the potential of of things coming down even more, and how to guard yourself against it, and how we may get to a place where it may not be swing season as prominent as it's been across tech stocks. All right. So again, y'all, the 10% is the is the correction. 10% all the way down, to about 20-25%. When we get to that 20-25%, that's when we're knocking on the door of bear market. All right, and then bear market is where riches are made. Period. 1, 2, 3 years out is what you're going to be looking for when we get into that being down 25-30% on indexes. All right, we got the gaps marked here on SPY, but also pay attention to your favorite stocks. Right, Palantir, Nvidia, Google. When stocks like that are down 40, 50, 60, 80%, right? You cannot go wrong with leaps in those stocks, right? That's where I've made the most money. All right. All right, cool. All right, y'all. So let's send me some stocks that you guys want me to analyze. I know we got IWM. The things that we said that we were going to revisit were we had Meta, we had URI that we were going to revisit. Netflix, Path, and IBM. So we'll go back and revisit those, but I believe most of these stocks are not holding their structure. But we'll go and see if we got any confirmations on those, and then we'll jump into like which I want to see. But go ahead and put them in the chat so I can just have an idea of it, so I can just kind of like flow into it. All right. And again, if y'all are just joining, welcome. All right, hit that like button one time for me. If you haven't hit that like button yet, what you doing, man? What you doing? We giving game about the market. I'm giving you guys clear on what to expect so that you guys can build wealth. Okay, like that bear market, it could be knocking on our door, right? There's not an expert out there that can predict it. There are like little things, little indicators that have been consistent with other bear markets happening, and we've seen pretty much all of them. All right, so we don't know what that straw that breaks the camel's back is going to be yet, but when it does happen, I just want to make sure that y'all are prepared. All right, Marvel. Okay, we'll do Marvel. We'll go over Marvel. What else y'all want to see? Again, y'all, as y'all are coming in, hit that like button for me. All right. Also, every day, y'all, I'm here 11:30 every weekday, 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern. Okay. If there's ever any sort of change because there's some change in my schedule, then you will see the the upcoming event change to that that particular time. So even if you have like the notification set on your calendar, also be sure that you check in with my YouTube channel to see what time it's actually going live. Like I said, it's rare that the time will change, but just always make sure that you set the notification so that it can give you the reminder of whatever the time is for that day. But for the most part, I'll say 95% of the time, I'll be here at 11:30 Pacific and then 2:30 Eastern. All right. Enphase. Okay, we can look at Enphase. We can look at Enphase. What else y'all want to see? Also, y'all, if you don't have a trading home and you are looking to be a part of a community and a group that does this times 10 and more daily, check out the link in the description of every video that I've created. All right, see if it's a match for you. See if it's something that resonates. Go read the testimonials. See if it's something that fits in with what you need for where you are in your trading journey. And we would love to have you. Okay, we got a lot of people here in the group right now that are a part of it. And I believe it's been pretty helpful for them. All right, we got AG. Yeah, we're gonna find something. We're gonna find something nice. We got Amazon, of course. We got Amazon. What else y'all want to see? Liz, we gonna get there, Liz. I appreciate you. See, this what I love about y'all. This is what I love about y'all. Y'all come in here and y'all know what's going on. Y'all know what I need. Y'all looking out, right? Y'all know I be rapping, and y'all know I forget to do the disclaimer. I'll give y'all like 10 plays, and then I'll be like, oh shit, I didn't even tell them I'm not a financial advisor. So with that said, I don't really, know what's going on here, right? Every time that I'm here talking to this camera, it's just that, right? This is for entertainment purposes only. You know what I'm saying? This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. You know, it's crazy though. I did work in finance. Like that is what I did before. I started trading and started my watch company. But I am not a financial advisor, and I'm not telling you to go and put your hard-earned money in this thing, right? So anything that I discuss on here, I'm just popping my shit. I'm just saying what I see, and if it resonates with you, go do your research, go do your homework, go do your due diligence, and make sure that you understand that you, right, with your individual brain, are going and making the decision to enter that play. All right, there we go. Appreciate you, Liz. All right, we got Microsoft. We got Microsoft. Adam, man, what's that? He said, I think the Big Seven is changing expiration. No, yeah, that's what I was talking about a little earlier, Adam. That it absolutely. So, like I said, it's going to invite, and I'm not trying to spook y'all, right? I don't want y'all to be like, when we see setups now, I don't want y'all to be like, oh, but is the market going to manipulate on this? I don't want y'all to be thinking like that, because it'll have you in your head. But it is important to understand that, okay, as they introduce new things, the market's changed. So when stocks started splitting a lot, like it was a time where a stock split was a rare thing. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how long you've been trading. But a stock split was not something that was happening like on a consistent basis. But as we go deeper into the future, companies are always looking for unique ways to to squeeze more money out of the market, how to raise more money, right? So, making things more affordable opens it. It's almost like having a sale on an item. It just opens up the market, right? And some companies want to play the volume game, right? When you open it up to more retail traders, right? That helps them. Like the more the higher their stock is, the higher the valuation of the company is, the more the investors make, so forth and so on. All right. So there's always going to be something new introduced to the market, and it will slightly change, like, the behavior. Not so much that it's unrecognizable, but there'll be like little things like, okay, I noticed, because right now you notice that the market, a lot of times when we get crashes like this or like little drops like this, a lot of times it'll be like on a Friday or something like that. And so seeing it happen in the middle of the week when there's such like good bullish setups, it's like, oh, there's a sweep on these all of these these midweek expiration dates. All right, so we gonna keep it in mind, but we're not gonna let it consume us. But y'all definitely should be aware of that. All right, you said you had Netflix at 1,000 a share. Yeah, the ball before the split. AG, I say he said, I'm so glad to be a part of this trading family. 2K per day. Good to see you. I saw you commenting on my video. It's good to have you over here in YouTube world. Good to see you, Candy. All right. Yeah, we still holding the Nvidia in this. Hey, you got a funny indecisive 219. Listen, by the time we done, right? And y'all hit that like button as y'all come in. All right, just do it for me real quick. It really helps out the channel. Just a quick doop. All right. But indecisive, by the time you're done with watching these lives and being in TPC, I want you to change your name to Decisive. We gonna see if we can help you get to that. All right, we're gonna see if we can get you that name change. Cause with them words is powerful. You feel me? We gonna see it. We gonna see if by working with me you can start to decisively enter trades. You feel me? All right, so we got Marvell, Enphase, we got AG, we got Amazon, we got Microsoft. We'll look at Netflix. I'm just gonna write them all here. IBM, and then URI. Anything else y'all want to see? Yeah. Yeah, those stock splits typically change the nature, right? Think about a company that might have been selling stuff for like, a designer company that might have been selling things for like, I don't know, $10,000-$20,000 bags, and then they introduce like a $200 bag or something like that, right? It's just going to bring a different crowd and a lot more volume. So the way that it trades is just like a little bit different. All right, Palantir. Yeah, we'll go over Palantir. We looked at it earlier. It looks like it wants to continue coming down, but we'll talk about that. Y'all want to see anything else? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's get two more. Let's see if we can get two more, and we'll review. I'll jump back to the charts for y'all. Again, y'all, as y'all come in here, take this finger and just hit that like button, right? Whether it's on your laptop or your mouse. Every like lets me know that what I'm saying is helpful to you, and it also gets the message out to somebody else that was in your same position. I don't know, maybe a couple months ago, just doing a little YouTube search and trying to find somebody that could, give them the game real. All right. So think about that person. All right, we'll do. Oh yeah, we got to do silver. Okay, silver, gold, SoFi. Oh, y'all sending them in now in the LAC. All right, y'all. NXPI. Let's get it. We about to be on here for a little minute. All right, here we go. Let's go. All right, we're gonna do Marvell. All right, what do we have on Marvell? Okay, we're getting some nice bounce action off of the Bollinger Band. I'm seeing over here that they are acquiring Celestial AI for $3.2 billion to boost its data center. This is usually positive news. Whenever there's an acquisition taking place, the market tends to interpret that as so it's two ways. They can interpret it as change, which can sometimes be negative, but for the most part, what I see with acquisitions is they see that, oh, this company has enough cash to make strategic moves like that, right? So it's just a reminder of good financial health. So that ultimately leads to to some sort of jump in the stock. I'm not sure exactly when this was published, but it looks like it's new. They got earnings in 22 days. Okay, that's a little distance out. I like where this is at, right? I like that this is bouncing at this level. It would be more beautiful if it were a failed 2D, or if somehow it could close the day with a failed 2D. But again, if it doesn't, and we can get a bullish confirmation tomorrow, this would be a nice stock to play up to the top of this candle right here. So if we can break previous day highs even during the day, matter of fact, let me make sure I write that down, because that may be a part of my watch list tomorrow. If Marvell can break previous day high intraday, we're going to start looking for for opportunities during the day. And then again, obviously, if we get a bullish confirmation here, then we could be looking to swing it back up here to the mean, right? You could put 2 weeks in between that. I definitely here's another precaution I want you guys to take. Don't be afraid to put more time on your contracts, especially with where the market is right now, right? With there being 3 expiration dates for Mag 7s. If we're trading a Mag 7, this is not a Mag 7, by the way, but if we're trading a Mag 7, don't be afraid to to put it out 2 to 4 weeks. Yes, there's a difference in how much you make, but there's also a difference in drawdown, and it gives you more authority in your trade to be able to sit in it a little bit longer, right, for the real move to take place. All right, so we're talking about $80 is what we'll target if we can get a confirmation tomorrow. But if we break the previous high tomorrow, then the intraday target would be right here around $79. Okay, so $79 intraday target. $81.33 is going to be the swing target. All right. So that's Marvell. It's not sitting at an order block, so this is why we need the confirmation, right? If something's not sitting at an order block, but it is sitting at the end of the edge of a Bollinger Band, I'm not against taking it, but again, I need the confirmation before I take it. Like, even though this is showing a reversal signal, right? We have a hammer right here. I wouldn't get in front of this because again, it could still fall because it still has room down to about $69, right? So this could, if the market wants to continue downward tomorrow, this could definitely fall down to this level right here. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and draw that. It could definitely fall, fall about here. All right. So like I said, in order to play this level to the upside, we need bullish confirmation on this. All right. So Marvel's not ready for today. Don't take entry on that. But it could be it's cooking. It could be ready tomorrow. All right. End phase. Let's go to end phase. Y'all know I love end phase. And if you all remember, like if you're in Prosperity Collective, y'all know that this was one of the first leaps that I called in the group. So if you're new to Prosperity Collective and you haven't explored the leap section, you definitely want to go in there and look at my analysis. You also want to make sure that you look at the tool that I use to determine what leaps I'm going to get in, right? That's very important. So inside of the leaps section, there's like an options calculator tool that I use, right? So remember earlier in this live, I was talking about when we get into a bear market, we want to start swinging stuff, like out to 2 years, 3 years. What the options calculator does is it shows you what your profits will be approximately, and it's very close too, because I've measured it against my profits. Very, very close to being on point. It can never be exact, obviously, because it's a projection, but very, very close to what your profits will be on specific contracts out to specific dates. So you can type in, okay, if I get in a leap on end phase at $40, and this stock goes to $80 within the period of 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year and a half, what will my profits be? And it breaks it down to the day, right? It'll show you what your profits would be every single day with a specific move all the way to your expiration date, right? So this is gonna really help out with you making like smart decisions about what stock to get into. So let me just go over why why we're in leaps, because I know a lot of people don't understand why we got leaps on end phase. But when you see this, you're gonna be like, holy shit, this is a very, very special opportunity. So I got into end phase down at $30. So I haven't even checked my portfolio, but I know it's looking crazy right now with the leaps, and I got it out to like 2020, I think 2028 or something like that. So again, we have broken out of a falling wedge on end phase. Yes, it has been in this consolidation period, but all it needed to do was break out of this range, right? So the range was right here. I talked about this. I said that we could get it earlier, right? If you go look at the leap section, it was like between like $30 and $40. Anything between 30 and 40 is solid. We're gonna have room up to 68. By the time the leap is all said and done, I believe we see the top of the wedge. That's usually how breakouts work from a falling wedge, right? So if we look at the top of this wedge, we're talking about end phase returning to to about 125, right? This translates in leaps to like anywhere from, so if this recovers 50% of this wedge, we're talking 400 or 500%. We're talking about almost 1,000% if it can get to the top of the wedge within that 2-year period of time. All right, so this is a really good way to park your money and just let it accumulate. The reason that leaps are so powerful, and I cannot stress this enough, is because, yeah, I know the market. I know that Enphase is trying to make its way back up, but I can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, on February 4th, 2026, Enphase is going to jump 39% after earnings. I can't predict that. But if you have an idea of the direction, then you know that every crazy day like this, you're gonna get it, you're gonna catch it because you're already in it. I'm letting this stay put until at least it gets to 50% of my target, which is up here somewhere. We're talking about we're gonna let this cook until it get into like the 80s at least before we start taking profits. All right. So with that being said, this is where wealth is built. Also, the reason that Enphase is so good, and I want y'all to go do this homework as well. Go and you can click here, right? You can just click on Enphase, and then you can go and read their financials, or you can go to Yahoo Finance. There's so many places you can look at, Enphase. You could just Google Enphase financials. But I recommend just clicking on here. You can go and look at their cash flow statement, go and look at their balance sheet, and go and look at their income statement. You'll notice a trend of, yes, they're not like like super profitable, but they're trending up. And they have a estimated date for profitability and stuff like that. They have double digit growth in what is it, gross profit. So and I'm talking about like year over year, right? So you could be like not profitable like 1 quarter, profitable for the year, or have like year over year profit, which is judging that specific quarter of the year and comparing it to the previous. All right. So the trend of their finances look really good, and this is what's called opportunity, right? So when a good company comes down like this, and it's not for no apparent reason, it's just like there were a few scares just in the sector at large, right? Just energy at large, but this is what you call an opportunity. When there's better opportunities in the market, because mind you, there's like 6,000 plus companies in the stock market, right? When there are better opportunities in the stock market, people have a finite amount of capital. Institutions have a finite amount of capital. So what they're constantly doing is they're looking for the best opportunities that are going to make money faster, right? We're thinking about, there's a calculation in finance called time value of money, right? So this is saying that money made, $100,000 made now is worth more than like 150,000 made, over time, depending on what the interest is, right? Because making that money now is going to allow you to do more things. So what people are constantly doing in the market is looking for the best opportunity now. So when you see something crash like this, and some momentum gets behind it, oftentimes people start to forget about it, which creates an opportunity for the recovery because you've been paying attention to their finances, and you can sneak in it, you can sneak into it down here. Like, oh, y'all not even paying attention, right? It's like when people are fearful, this is a famous Warren Buffett quote, when people are fearful, be greedy. When people are greedy, be fearful. You can make a ton of money when people are greedy and you're greedy, but it's for a very short-lived time. When people are fearful and you see the setup and you become greedy, like you start accumulating stuff like this in Enphase, this is when you catch pops like this. We got this out 2 years. You know how many earnings they got to go through, right? You know how many other events they got to go through that's going to continue to push this up just to them recovering to the top of the wedge, not even highs, right? Don't let it be, some sort of acquisition of them, or they acquire somebody. That's going to take it even further. Don't let them get a famous CEO. There's so many events that can take place that's going to continue pushing this higher. So Enphase, again, it's still in buy territory, right? Again, I'm not getting out of this until I'm not even thinking about getting out. I'm not even thinking about peeling off contracts until up here in the 80s. All right. So that's Enphase. In terms of like the short term trading, I'm not really interested in trading Enphase short term. And a big reason is because their spreads be crazy. This is another reason why it's such a great stock for like the long term, because you're not dealing with the day-to-day spreads of sometimes $1 when it comes to this stock, right? You don't want to play in that type of territory consistently, and especially if it has a bad day. So this is something that you want to swing out 2 years, right? Like I said, it's still in the territory. I wouldn't necessarily get in it today. I would wait to see if we get a little bit of a pullback. But in that, anything between 30 and 50 out 2 years is good money. All right. All right. So we're gonna go AG. Again, y'all, as y'all are coming in here, please hit that like button if you're getting any value out of this. Hit that like button for me. It really, really helps the video get to the people that respect the game and need the game. All right. You said it's about to take off. Yeah. Matter of fact, let me do a survey. Who took Enphase with me? Like, who got into the leap when I called it? I know a lot of y'all are new, but we got anybody that was here back then that got into Enphase, and how are y'all doing? So if you enter everything, you send it in the Discord. I have to go back to work. Yeah. I got you, Zay. I got you. I have to research this company. No, for sure, Cortez. And look, I did all the research for y'all. Okay, so if you're in the Prosperity Collective, just go to the Leaps category, the Leap section. All right, go to the Leap section. I did a video. I did a green screen. I also did a tutorial on the options calculator tool, so you can see how you can use it for any leap that you want to get in. And literally, before you get into the leap, you already know like what your profit's going to be. So you can be like, well, yeah, you can see the risk reward immediately. Like, all right, I'm risking, $5, and know that the leaps are going to be more expensive, y'all. So you might be like, oh yeah, I'm spending $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 or something like that. But I know that the reward is like 4 or 5x if it just gets to this number by this time. All right, so you'll be fully, hip to what you need to do before you even get in. All right. So I love that too. I use that on a consistent basis. Hey, Mason. Hey, what's going on, Mason? Good to see you, brother. How you been, man? Good to see you back in the fold. You said new to TPC. Okay, LB. Yeah, I would definitely, if you're new to TPC, definitely go. So Liz, I called this like a few months ago, right, when it was down like in the 30s, right? We entered. I showed the entry points again. Like I said, when y'all get off of here, just go into the Prosperity Collective and then click on leaps and then scroll all the way to the top. You see all the leaps that I called, right? And again, these are things that they don't always hit the next day, right? We're talking about stuff that's taking 2 years, but when you go and look at that P&L, you go look at that portfolio, you're gonna be like, holy shit. All right. Like I said, this is where wealth is accumulated. So it's moving faster than it would move if you just own the stock, but you essentially are controlling options of a stock for 1, 2, 3 years if you wish. All right. So just like I said, go and just look at everything, study that tab, and understand why I took it and why I took some of the other ones. All right. You said I didn't, but I'm watching now. I'll probably jump in on the pullback. Yeah. Nah, for sure. I'm gonna let y'all know what's going on. Yeah, we back up. All right. So how you been, Mason? Everything good, man? How you living? All right, we're gonna go to AG in a second. Damn, look at Enphase up 40% today. This is crazy. I can't wait to go look at that. Again, y'all, if y'all are just joining, hit that like button for me. All right, just a quick boop, and that'll help out tremendously. All right, we're gonna go right into AG. All right. Okay, so this is in the silver metals and stuff like that. Yeah, I believe this looks just like. Mm. We got a 3 candle, a 3 bullish reversal. This could be wanting to come up. This is not necessarily like the strongest level. It still may want to like come down and test down here, right? And then hold on, let me see. Is that a little gap in there? No, not quite a gap. Okay. It may want to come down a little bit more. Right now, it's not like a clean setup for me. Again, the thing about metals, right? They can go crazy on the day that they want to. It did get a nice pullback. Let me see. Because I'm assuming that this looks exactly like silver, right? Because the last time we looked at the silver chart, I know it had this big. That was like a 30% drop or something like that. Let me see how far it is down right now. So yeah, it's down like 21%. Silver has gone on a crazy tear, y'all. So up here, I'm not so. It's just going to continue forever. I feel like this is when you get into the euphoric, like almost like delusional state, and that's the last thing you want to be in the market is delusional. We could start to come down significantly. And again, we have to just kind of like wait for that to play out. I would like to see a more significant or more dramatic pullback on anything in the silver space before I start accumulating or trading it again. Again, this right here there's nothing right here that says anything to me. Yes, we got this little tweezer head right here, which is usually a very like bullish signal. But again, we just got to see how it plays out tomorrow because it is closing, lower than it opened. So that means there's a little bit of selling pressure as well. All right, so there's nothing that's exciting right here. Nothing that says swing this, but I will like to continue to watch it. So we can really lump silver and AG like in the same category. I'm gonna go and look at silver right now, but I'm pretty sure it has this same exact setup. But it's like a no for me. I don't see anything that's worth it right now. Let me see if silver has that same setup. Yeah, so yeah, silver has pretty much the same setup. It's moving, yeah, that's moving the same way. And then we also got 2 failed twos, 2 ups on here. So this could come down pretty significantly. But again, I won't front run anything dealing with metals. So if it's going to come down, I would need to see like a bearish confirmation tomorrow, right? Also, there's nothing about this that says get into calls. Even though it's pulled back, we got 2 failed, 2 up. So this nothing about right here says get into calls. All right, so silver is a no call. AG is a no call. All right, let's go look at Amazon. Again, y'all, as y'all come in here, do me a favor and just hit that like button for me. One time. Matter of fact, can we take a moment right now and do that? Can we take one moment right now and do that if you haven't already? Hit that like button for me. It'd be greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Okay, so Liz said she wasn't here yet. Okay. So yeah, man, I'm good. Was just at a rough point in life. Still kept throwing in what I could into the markets and savings, and now I'm at a decent spot for sure. Hey Mason, I love to hear that, man. You know what I mean? Like we experience highs and lows, and you gotta you gotta stand tall on it. So it's good to see you back in the fold, man. We going up. All right. You said blood in the streets. It's time to eat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. we gonna have some opportunities. Like I don't know if well, I mean clearly you haven't been on here like in the past couple of weeks, but we've been in here eating. You know what I mean? Today's a little weird, but we should be recovered in the one in the in the stock that we took the Nvidia trade. I'm gonna go back and look at Carvana to see what that's looking like. But yeah, we've been cooking. You said you hear me well. Perfect. Perfect, Francine. Good to see you. All right. So Amazon, y'all. Hit that like button as you come in. I forgot I had this banana right here. I know I need my little snacks. All right. Amazon. Huh. Yeah, Amazon's bouncing at this Bollinger Band here. It's bouncing at this Bollinger Band right here, but there's nothing. There's no setup right here. Let me drop down to the 4 hour and see what's going on. Okay. So we got an order block down here on the 4 hour. How much time was it? Yeah, the market's getting ready to close in 11 minutes. We could see a little small bounce action on Amazon, but it's not a strong enough setup on the daily for me. Like there's nothing here that that's like yes, definitely tomorrow. We'll see how we close tomorrow, right? We'll see if the market wants to continue down and scare the life out of people. But yeah, we'll see how it closes. But I'm not seeing anything on the daily right now. All right. Again, if you're in TPC, we'll break down anything in the morning that we're seeing, like level to level. That's where you'll get a clearer understanding of what we're taking in the moment. But here I'm just looking at like swing opportunities, and there's nothing here. All right. So if we get some sort of bullish harami. Some sort of harami or maybe like a bullish piercing pattern where we trade 50% or more into this particular candlestick right here, then yeah, I'll be more than open to taking some sort of a swing, a couple weeks out to retest the highs. But again, I'm very curious to see how we close this week out. I'm really curious to see how that works. All right. Amazon. All right, Microsoft. What Microsoft looking like? Microsoft been moving. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. This is a bearish belt hold right here. This is a bearish belt hold. Remember we went over that the other day. So on the this is a sneaky setup right here. So if it closes like this, and again, I'm not taking this, y'all. I'm just telling this to y'all to look out for. I'm not taking this. I'm not saying take this. But let's see if this falls out tomorrow. This technical setup says that we should come down like this, right? Like we should see like 400 tomorrow, or some sort of bearish closing tomorrow. Some people may interpret this as a reversal. Now, if this candle, and this is important to take note, y'all. When you see the reversal or the inverted hammer at the end of a down move, it usually does mean a reversal, right? But you know when it means a reversal? When it's extended, right? When it's like above, not when it's at the exact same level. So this is stopping at the exact same level or slightly shorter. That's what you call a bearish belt hold. So it's almost like a drop, and then it's a pause, and then it's like leaning on it, and then it's a fallout, right? So we could see this drop significantly tomorrow. If it looked like this, right? You see how it's above the level? then it goes in the opposite direction. And you see how I did that, right? And this was also a fail to up. So you see that's, when it formed that up move right there and that fail to up like that, it gapped down. All right. So I'm gonna be just watching. I'm gonna watch Microsoft to see if it's bearish tomorrow. See if bearish. This could also be a really clean play intraday, right? Because what may happen is it may open. Typically, it's like these tend to open not on a gap down, but they tend to open right around that same level that they closed at, right? Or at least the low, right? They'll open up around that same area, and a lot of times you'll be interpreting that as like, oh, it's holding the structure, and then somewhere in the middle of the day, it just falls, right? So this could be a money maker on the intraday. We don't even got to swing this. This could be a money maker on the intraday to the downside, but we want to watch and make sure. Because also what you notice, it still has this much space. It still has down to 397.77 to complete the gap fill. So all of this right here, right from right here, ever since it hit 424.50, it's been filling the gap. So it's made it more than 50% through the gap. This should absolutely go and close the complete gap tomorrow. All right, especially with this bearish belt hold. All right, so mark that. Like I said, that'll probably be something that's on my watch list tomorrow. But I'm definitely gonna be watching for Microsoft intraday. Bearish belt hold, intraday put potential. Again, y'all, take those notes. End of every marketing day journal. All right, I'm gonna keep reminding you. It's important. It seems like it's not that big of a deal, but it's very important. All right. All right, so that's Microsoft. What we got next? Again, y'all, as y'all coming in, do me a favor and hit that like button for me. All right. Alchemist, what up, man? Best Beezy, what it do, brother? He said, "Are you taking entry on?" Nah, I'm not. After today, I want to see like what the market's giving, Zay. So, every day on here, it's not gonna always be a swing or entry. We just gonna flow with the market and see what it's giving us. But like I said, with such an unsuspecting day today, I want to see like what the market is trying to tell us. No, I didn't take a trade burpee boot camp. Yeah, exactly. So when the body is above, that's when the reversal happens. When that wick is stopping at the same point and the body is even with it, that's a bearish belt hold, or if it's flipped, it's a bullish belt hold, and that means it wants to continue in that direction. So we'll come back and confirm that tomorrow to see if that's what happened. All right. Let's keep lighting it up. Let's see if we can get to 70 likes real quick. Y'all think we can get to 70 likes real quick? I'm about to jump into gold. Yeah, very very similar to silver. Yeah, there's no setup here. There's no setup yet. We gotta watch and see what happens tomorrow. But I'm not seeing anything on the daily for gold. I would like to see if it breaks out of this what tomorrow, this will be a previous candle when tomorrow happens. I'd like to see if it can break down below this, because it may be trying to come down further and possibly do its full pullback to this level. Now when it makes it to this level, like when it gets below 400, I'm very interested in gold. Right, same with silver. When it gets down to the next bullish order block, that's when I'd be most interested. All right, and sometimes things will come down hard and then it bounce up, and you think the reversal is taking place, when in reality, is making its way down a little further. All right, let's go. Let's see LAC. Matter of fact, yeah, let's get to 80 likes, man. Let's get to 80 likes. We can do it. Yeah, I did. We got the 75. That was yesterday was the biggest live. Every live has been bigger than the previous one, and I love that energy. That means y'all locked in. That means we growing. All right. So let's run it up to 80 likes real quick. If you're in here, you're getting value, you haven't liked it yet, go ahead hit that like button for me. All right. LAC. Lithium. I mean, we do have a bearish engulfing. Okay, I'm gonna draw out this bear flag because I like to set up this forming. All right, so we got a nice little bear flag right here. Yeah, I like this. So we just got these two parallel trend lines to form this bear flag. Nice strong movement right here. Y'all know what we got to do to get a true distance. You want to take this down move, and we want to measure it to the bottom of the flagpole, and we want to connect this to the projected or estimated or assumed breakout point, which could happen tomorrow, could happen Friday, could happen Monday. So we'll put it here for now, which is probably about Friday. And if it breaks down tomorrow, then we'll just slide it over. But just from that measurement right there, look at where it takes us, right down into the next order block. All right, so as I said, y'all, a lot of times when we see these setups, they typically lead us right to the next setup. Right, when you do the measurement and you really work the technicals like you should, it takes you right into it. All right, so this is the next order block is it's down here at $3. So yeah, if we can get a break, out of this bear flag, this could be a pretty cool setup. There's no order blocks here, so it does have a few levels that it would need to get to. This level here would be right. That'll be a level right there. Obviously, when it breaks down, it would need to take out the like the low here. So when it gets to about this point right here, when it breaks this point, that would be a good entry from 465 down to 431, and 431 being the first target, and then you can leave runners, and then just play it level to level. It looks like we have a huge gap to fill too. So this is another great setup when it gets below 431 because it has to fill this gap over here. All right, plenty of space, to come down. We're talking about all the way down to about 333. All right, so I like this a lot actually. This could really pick up some momentum to the downside once it breaks out of these these levels. All right, so the breakdown out of the bear flag, close below here. It's a clean candle right down to that first level. A break of that level, you leave runners, or if you've already taken full profit, it could be a re-entry at the break of 431. So write that down: 465, 431. We'll have a break of 431 will have the most risk to reward because you got all of this down here to go. If you enter here at the at a break of 465, then you could play it to 430, 431, which is pretty significant because as you can see, this is a 34-cent move is 6.5% on LAS. I mean LAC. All right, so I like that. I'm gonna write. We got the bear flag. Breakdown potential for tomorrow. All right, so I will definitely keep my eye on that, y'all, and we can revisit it. All right. Again, y'all, as y'all coming in, smash that like button for me. Let's try to get to 70 likes real quick. You already know, Drez. Stop chasing. You feel me? No, we're not taking anything today. Nope. Yep. All right. Again, y'all, I'm here at 11:30 every day, Pacific, 2:30 Eastern, to lock in these profitable setups. This week we're gonna be doing a lot of monitoring, right? Today was a weird day for the market, and I just want to make sure that we're getting a good handle on what's going on before we lock in. All right, so we're gonna look at Netflix, and we just gonna keep looking at Netflix, y'all, because y'all know I told y'all to set up with Netflix. When Netflix is ready, this is another get rich opportunity, right? So it does have a failed 2D, which I like. We could see it, we could see it come and retest this 82.32. Very possible. But again, let's see who's been paying attention. What am I waiting for on Netflix? You already know. Hit that like button. You already know. Appreciate you. Exactly, Cortez. The measure move takes you right, and you'll notice like when y'all understand how to, because there's also measure moves on like on like Head and Shoulders and stuff like that, right? Head and Shoulders with slanted necklines have longer potential. It's so many little small things, right, that make the difference in you being able to truly understand where something is going. But yeah, what about Netflix? Y'all put it in the chat. What am I waiting for on Netflix? For those who've been on my lives, what am I waiting to see Netflix do? I want to see where y'all at with it. I want to see where y'all at with it. What are we waiting for on Netflix? Don't answer all at one time. Appreciate it. There we go. All right. Somebody listening. Somebody been studying. All right. So when we get the break of this wedge, y'all, that's when it's lights out. Until then, I'm cool off of Netflix. I'm really cool. You could do it. You could do it intraday, right? I'm talking strictly from the capacity of swings, or from the perspective of swings. All right. Exactly. You said Google had their earnings. How did it look, Liz? Give me the update. Give me the update. How did they look? Let me see what Google's talking about. Oh yeah, they failed. So I can see in Postmark. They failed, but now it's a lot of volatility right now. Yeah, we'll check in on Google, but Google could possibly gap down into this order block. If it gaps down into this order block and forms like some sort of reversal, this might be a good move for retracement. But also, again, y'all, we're gonna be a little more cautious than normal in terms of taking trades, and the only reason is because I'm trying to understand what the market is trying to tell us, right? I'm trying to understand what the market is trying to tell us. Okay. So we shall see. But yeah, Google is bouncing around. It came down as low as 5%, and just in 5 seconds, it went from being down 5% to being down 2%. That's crazy. That might end up in an up move. We'll see. Again, y'all, if you're just joining the live, or if you've been here and haven't hit the like button, I don't know what's going on, but just take one of these fingers and just hit that like button for me. All right. Appreciate you. Also, if you're looking for a trading home, y'all, the Prosperity Collective, we call banger leaps, right? If you were in the Prosperity Collective, you would have caught this in phase leap that literally today jumped 40%. And we're not talking about in the leaps or in the options. We're talking about in the stock itself. Okay. There's a lot of opportunity in the market when you can see the future, right? When you can see the vision of what's shaping up over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, right? You get into these leaps, you can get your wealth accumulating on autopilot, which is what we all are, essentially striving for, right? I make money every day trading options, but I love parking money and not having to do a damn thing. I'm sorry, that's me. That's me. The law of least resistance, right? Sign me up for being able to make a good decision and continue to build wealth. All right. So we got that going on in the Prosperity Collective. We also have study sessions that we're doing, every Thursday. Right. That's very helpful. Where you get sat down with more information on little details. You're on camera, get to ask questions. Right. We also got the IWM Whisperer channel. Right. IWM is something that Zay has mastered, and he's cooking in that every single day. Right. We talking about people catching 50 to 100% plays, like it's nothing. Not every single day, but majority of days there is an opportunity for that kind of movement, on the stock, right? And then also we go live on Voice in the morning. All right. Then we also drop plays throughout the day. So between our channels, between the Prosperity Collective and our channels, like you're completely covered at in every aspect of the work. All right. So if you're looking for a trading home, you're tired of the other guys, you're tired of the popularity contest, you're tired of the gossip, you're tired of everything that is happening in the world, like kind of being brought into your space where you're trying to grow and develop as a person and a trader, it's an obvious choice. But when you're ready. All right. So the link is in my description of all my videos, when y'all ready to make that decision. All right. Again, y'all, as you come in, hit that like button. You said that option went crazy. Yeah. 40% in the stock game, Patrick. Yep. I'm telling y'all, like, listen, we're gonna call way more bangers than not. And you'll notice that when something's not a banger, it's usually just like something happening in the market. But if the market is moving how it moves, we're going to catch those those plays, long term, short term, medium term. Right? Been doing this for quite some time now, almost 8 years. All right. See, now Google is up. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna be very curious to see how that looks in the morning. All right. Okay. So what we got? We got IBM. 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 Yeah. Yeah, nice little reversal pattern on IBM. Again, this is a pretty simple setup, y'all. We got the hammer. We just want to see a confirmation tomorrow, right? We just want to see a confirmation tomorrow. We get a confirmation tomorrow. We can ride this up to $300, right? So I like IBM a lot. I like IBM a lot. It's very simple here. All we're waiting for is a bullish confirmation. All right. Off the Bollinger Band, we got this this fair value gap right here, right? So up to here. So all of this needs to get cleaned up. So yeah, this could be a really good confirmation day tomorrow. And if we start to see it push above today will be yesterday, tomorrow, obviously. So when we start to see it push above, today's highs, which will be previous day highs tomorrow, there may even be some intraday opportunities to enter this. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that. IBM is just waiting for a confirm, waiting for a bullish confirmation. Waiting for bullish confirmation and then targeting 306. All right, I like this a lot. Again, as you come in, hit that like button for me, all right? Yeah, exactly. You said in a doji in the order block. Yep. All right. URI. URI. Hey y'all, let's run these likes up to 75 real quick. Let's see if we, matter of fact, let's do 76. Let's see if we can beat tomorrow by the time I get off of here. All right. Ooh. Okay, so remember we were talking about this yesterday, right? So with URI, I drew this bear flag pattern to see if it was going to break to the upside or the downside. It broke to the upside. It recovered this candle right here. It looks like it's making its way into the gap tomorrow. So tomorrow, this is definitely a bullish play. If it starts to break into here to fill this first gap, that may be where it meets some sort of rejection. But if it breaks into it, it may be wanting to go and try to close this gap. So we just got to watch the price action on it. But URI, I will be watching on the intraday. But that looks really, really good. Very, very strong buying pressure. Intraday for gap fill. Yeah, I like this a lot. Again, we'll be targeting a gap fill. Again, if we just hypothetically, right? We we open up no major gap and we just start to to pump, and we break the 15-minute orb in that first 30 minutes of the market. This will be a great play to take because a break of orb, depending on where it opens, is going to possibly put this stock like into that gap. All right, but we have to wait and see how it's going to open, because it also could open down here. It also could try to come and retest this trend line. All right, so we got to wait and see on that. But I do like the potential of a gap fill tomorrow. All right, we did silver. Let's go Palantir. I know we talked about this, but there was a few people that didn't get a chance to see Palantir. Can we get to 75 likes, y'all? Let me ask y'all that. Y'all ready to ride? Can we get 12 more likes or 13 more likes? 76. Can we get 13 more likes? Before I get off this live, I got like 2 more to go. Right? I got Palantir and I got NXPI. And that would be beautiful if we can get the 70 something. I ain't gonna stay around like I did last time. All right. If it ain't there by the time I get off, I'm gonna be like, all right, whatever. When I get out, I'm getting off. All right, let's get it. Palantir, yeah, it bounced a little bit. It bounced a little bit from the, it's low, but still not necessarily like a reversal. Looks more bearish, right? It did break through this order block, so we may actually see this order block go away tomorrow since it closed below it. With this one being the next one, the next level we have is 128.36. I'd just be curious to see if it wants to come down there. All right. So as of now, obviously we can't enter anything because the market is closed. But tomorrow I will really just be watching to see if Palantir wants to come and retest this bullish order block. Right. So this point in which it broke out of, if it wants to come back and test somewhere around retest, I should say, around 144.90. That's going to be a really critical point, because at that point we will see if it's ready to reject and continue further. So if it fails this level of 144.90, then we could see this fall like pretty significant. All right. So 144.90 is the level that you can write down for the retest tomorrow. All right, 144.90 retest, and then a possible failure to the downside. All right. All right, hit that like button for me, y'all, one time. All right, SoFi. Let's see what SoFi. I love SoFi, y'all. I really like SoFi. It ain't one of them like SoFi ain't one of them like everyday stocks, but they present some opportunities for sure, and I really like them for the long term. SoFi looks like it's trying to bounce. Let me see what it's doing over here. Let me see what level it's at. Okay, SoFi got a little gap down here. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all mark this gap on SoFi. Um, right here around like 1930. All right, that'll complete the gap. But I want to make sure I get the whole thing. It starts right about here. All right, 1964 to 1930. We got a gap right here. All right, so though there's a slight bounce on SoFi, when it comes to fill this gap, that would be there will be more decisions made there. So it's temporarily pushing. It closed a lot higher than the low, almost about 50%. So that wick is pretty long, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to continue down, right? We still got some like quite a ways down that it could come, especially if the market wants to turn. So um, we may have some downside opportunity. Again, we got a crazy move on a lot of tech stocks today, and it is very very possible that we see some more downside. So I'm not going to be quick to get calls for SoFi until we have a like a strong or compelling scenario. Um, but for the long term, I love where SoFi currently is, and we may even get some better opportunities to get it at an even cheaper price, right? It's currently down, 37% from highs. This could be a really good leap opportunity. But again, we're gonna see how much further it comes down. But this is one of those stocks that I recommend that you continue to accumulate. Not financial advice, but wouldn't be a bad stock to continue accumulating. Where it's at now, even if there is more downside, if it's for the long term, you'll win. Even if you see some downside, from here, in the long term, you'll win. It's pulled back almost 40%. It's going to absolutely recover and go beyond. But again, we're going to continue watching, these tech stocks to see if we are knocking on the door of some sort of correction or bear market. But even then, you could just average down. All right, but I like where SoFi is for the long term. All right, and last but not least, we got NXPI. All right, y'all run me up. We just need like 10 more likes. All right. You said SoFi. Why you say it's cooked? You talking about SoFi earnings? They got negative earnings. Okay, that'll just be a better opportunity to buy it. We'll see. You said it's in stage 3 of a sell-off. Yeah. I mean, this like so. Here's the thing, right? Palantir is down almost just as much as SoFi. You know what I mean? So sometimes, like reputation of a company, um, some people will like recall a certain company or bigger company, um, and never second guess like the potential to the upside, right? But like a smaller company or a company that that's stock price is lower, they can be a little more biased, right? Like thinking that okay, it's getting closer to being finished because of how low the price is. But in reality, like you got to think about like what SoFi does, out in the real world. Like this is some yeah. If we have some sort of economic crisis, absolutely, it could continue to the downside like significantly. But once things turn around, especially you having all these shares accumulated and the economy is back in a great place in a however many years, like you'll see so far it's gonna be like $100 stock, straight up and down. You said Nvidia's pumping, Adam? That's what I like to hear. All right, y'all. So it looks like we might have a recovery tomorrow, y'all. It looks like we could possibly have a recovery of that downside that we got on Nvidia. So that's good to see. All right, we'll definitely update y'all on that. All right. So I'm gonna do NXPI. But listen, I ask y'all this, right? We are so close to our goal. We are so close to our goal. All right. If you can just hit the like button for me right now, if you haven't already, if you're driving, don't worry about it. But if you're stationary and you haven't hit that like button, it'll be a tremendous help. All right. If you got any sort of value out of this or any video, I know you did. I ain't even got to ask. If you watch a couple of the videos, you got sauced up in some way. You know what I mean? Whether it was a short, whether it was like a off the charts video, a tutorial, whatever, right? Do me a favor and hit that like button. It'll be a tremendous help. All right. Let's see. We got NXPI, and then we're gonna be up out of here. Semiconductors. Damn, today was the day to enter. Can anybody tell me why this is a good entry? I'm gonna flash back to y'all. Somebody tell me why that was a good entry. You see that? Hey, I appreciate that, Patrick. You said they don't want to give them the win because they have their own funds and yeah, exactly. So see, Liz, you've been reading, right? It's facts though. A lot of times companies that are anti, right? I consider me and Isaiah like anti stock market industry. Like when you think about just like the overall like market of people that are, I don't know, and I don't consider myself an influencer. I'm just sales, right? But people that are in this space, I feel like we're the anti to that space. We're not in here with the upsells. We don't have no upsells for you, right? We don't have no funnel for you, and low key, we don't even run ads, right? And we've been able to grow like we grow. We're the anti because we're sitting here giving y'all real information that you pay for in those groups. The reason that I know is because I've been in those groups, right? Earlier in my career, I seen everything they got to offer, right? And they charging y'all for stuff that we give y'all right here online for free every day. You know what I'm saying? So when a company, I say all that to say that when a company is like anti-industry and posing a threat to an established industry, they don't get treated so friendly. You understand what I'm saying? So that's exactly right what you're saying. Liz, it's a lot of things that could definitely like impact their movement from an external perspective. You said they want 18, somewhere down there. But when they do, oh boy, you just gotta ride, ride the ride. All right. So NXPI, the reason that this was a good setup today is because we had this huge fail. This is actually a picture perfect setup. Y'all will probably see NXPI go crazy tomorrow, but it was a fail to D, right, with a very strong bounce off of this bullish order block. And then today it got the confirmation. At the bare minimum, we should probably see NXPI come to at least about 231.50 tomorrow, right? If it wants to go crazier, then it may make it to that, it may retrace to that high of 233.86. All right, and possibly even into the order block because there's no resistance, right? So this was a beautiful setup. I'm not sure who mentioned that or if you're still on the call, but yeah, NXPI looked really good, and that's something that I probably would have taken if I would have saw it before before it closed. So it's NXP Semiconductors. I've never heard of the company, right? Y'all gotta remember, it's 6,000 plus. I think at this point it's even 7,000, right? Plus companies on the stock market. It's going to be a lot of them that you never heard of, a lot of them that you don't know, whatever. But when y'all send me new ones, it's great because what I do is I go back and I look at it, I research it. So in future lives, I'll have a lot more information on NXP Semiconductors. But just from a technical perspective, this looks really good. This looks really good. All right. All right, y'all. Let's run these lights up, man. I'm about to get out of here in a second. Was there any last minute thing that y'all wanted to see? If it's your first time, man, welcome. Again, go back and watch previous lives. Go look at how we call plays out. Go look at how they worked out the next day. The whole point of these lives are to provide you with profitable setups prior to the market closing. Today we didn't enter anything, but usually we'll enter something right here on live, so you'll be able to cash in and make money with us. But because the market fell and kind of like broke some some setups, we're waiting to see what the market is going to do tomorrow. All right, but if you're looking for profitable setups, you in your trading journey, you getting I would say $1 million worth of game on here for free. All right, so lock in every day during the week, 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern. I'm also here on Sunday doing my watch list, showing the setups for the week. All right, we'll rock out for an hour or two, maybe a little longer, depending on how I'm feeling. But I'm here for y'all. I want to make sure that y'all get what y'all need, so that y'all can make money in this market, set yourself free, boss up, and not have to be up under something. All right. So I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. I think we creeping up on this 2-hour mark. Got a little business I got to handle before the day's over. But I appreciate y'all. What is it? I don't want you to do my stocks today, but do research on it. Okay, which one are you talking about, Liz? What you want to see? Go ahead, give me a few. And it might be something that we could circle back to tomorrow, or it may even inform some some of that watch list for tomorrow since you're in TPC. So, what you want to see? Again, y'all hit that like button for me. Look, we creeping up on that 75. I need 6 more. I need 6 more. Can I get 6 more? Can I get 6 more hugs? Can I get 6 more hugs? Okay, so we got DVA. We got UNH. Okay. Liz love UNH. I know you mentioned UNH quite a bit. I feel like your favorites, Liz, are UNH and Meta. You got AbbVie. Okay. Talk to him, Patrick. Hey, Patrick gonna be the he gonna be my anger translator. Y'all ever see that skit with like on the Key? Did y'all watch Key and Peele? On Key and Peele, they had a Obama anger translator. So Obama PC, he keeping everything cool, diplomatic, all of that stuff, right? But then I think it was Jordan, not Jordan, but Keegan Michael Key, the light skinned guy, right? The taller light skinned one, right? He would just translate all of what Obama was really trying to say that he couldn't. He said, "You gonna keep it with all them plays?" Yeah, Liz out here making moves. But yeah, we hit that. Do what Patrick said. Y'all hit that damn button. Let's see. All right, I got you, Liz. I got you. Straight up, Jamie. He said, I will go on my other phone and my daughter's phone. There we go. Showing love. Showing love. But yeah, I'm about to get out of here, y'all. Again, appreciate y'all. Listen, if you NTPC, I'll see y'all in the morning, bright and early. I'll be back on here again tomorrow. I want to see what Nvidia going to do. Right, it looks like it's starting to recover. Let me look at it right now. Okay, so yeah, it looks like it's trying to recover. We will see. We'll see if we get a big bounce on it tomorrow. But yeah, they played with us today in terms of dropping that market out of nowhere. But we about to see what they do for the rest of the week. Again, y'all, when you are entering plays, right? So even you don't have to worry about it so much tomorrow. But if you're entering plays on a Monday, I want to reiterate this because this is very important. All right. So everybody watching out, y'all make sure y'all pay attention to this. When you get into a play on Tuesday and it's a Mag 7, the default is going to be Wednesday. That's going to be the first play. So if you're used to clicking that first play because you're taking weeklies, it's not a weekly. It's not a weekly. All right? Be sure to just kind of take note of that. You got to manually go to Friday's expiration if that's what you want, if you're purchasing it on a Tuesday or a Monday. All right? If it's a Monday, definitely check it because Monday is going to be for Monday. Right? Tuesday is going to be for Wednesday because there's no Tuesday expiration. And then anything after Wednesday will default to weeklies. All right? I'm about to get out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. It's always love over here. If you just joining, hit that like button for me. Help get this into the algorithm. Help get this to the people who need the real, who need the education, who's really trying to learn this shit. All right? It's always love over here. Remember, invest smart, live free. I'll see you on the next. Peace. And hold on, my bad. I hope we got ABG. I'll add ABGO to it as well. I'll look at that. All right? I'm going to look at that. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Y'all go have fun. Peace.